Immigration. This is a tough issue. This is a very emotional, hard issue for members of both parties. I've always been a believer that a comprehensive immigration reform is the best way to secure our border. I campaigned on that for president twice. I believed it when I was the governor of Texas. I understand this issue very well. I also understand the frustrations of many citizens in that they believe the government hasn't done its job of stopping illegal migrants from coming into the country. And that's why over the past couple of years there's been a significant effort to secure the border. There's going to be a doubling of the Border Patrol agents. There's going to be, fencing and berms and different types of equipment to help the Border Patrol do its job in a better way. As a matter of fact, I was concerned about it enough to ask the National Guard to go down there for a while. And but John, I don't see how. And so those concerns, by the way, are addressed in this bill. The bill essentially says that before any other reforms take place, certain benchmarks will be met when it comes to securing the border. Last year, during the debate, people said, well, let's have security first. That's exactly what the bill does. However, I don't see how you can have the border security the American people expect unless you have a temporary worker program with a verifiable work card. People will come here to do work to feed their families, and they'll figure out ways to do so. As a result of people wanting to come here to do work to feed their families, there is an underground industry that has sprung up that I think is essentially anti-humanitarian. It's an industry based upon coyotes. Those are smugglers. Good, hard-working, decent people pay pretty good-sized money to be smuggled into the United States of America. There is a document forgery industry in America. There are people who are willing to, stuff people inside temporary shelter in order for them to evade the law. I don't think this is American. I think the whole industry that exploits the human being is not in our nation's interests. And the best way to deal with this problem is to say, if you're going to come and do jobs Americans aren't doing, here is an opportunity to do so on a temporary basis. I would much rather have people crossing the border with a legitimate card to coming to work on a temporary basis than being stuffed in the back of an 18-wheeler. And I would hope most Americans feel that as well. Secondly, in order for there to be good employer verification, it's against the law to hire somebody who's here illegally. But many times, small businesses or large are presented with documents and they don't know whether they're real or not. And so, therefore, we must have a tamper-proof identification card, which is a part of this bill. A tough issue, of course, is what do you do with the people already here? Anything short of kicking them out, as far as some people are concerned, is called amnesty. You can't kick them out. For anybody who advocates trying to dig out 12 million people who've been in our society for a while, it's sending a signal to the American people it's just not real. I mean, it's an impractical solution. Nor do I think they ought to be given automatic citizenship. That is amnesty. Okay, you're here illegally, therefore you're automatically a citizen. And so, therefore, we proposed, worked with the Senate to devise a plan that said if you're here already before a certain date, that there are certain hurdles you must cross in order to receive what's called a Z visa, in order to be able to work here. You've got to go through a background check. You've got to pay a fine at some point in time. There's a probationary period, and there's a series of steps that people have to go through. And then people get at the back of the line, the citizenship line, not the beginning of the citizenship line. If you're for the bill, I thank you. If you're against it, you can find every reason in the world to be against a comprehensive bill. It's easy to find something to be against in this bill. All it takes is to take one little aspect of it and ignore the comprehensive nature and how good it is. I knew this was going to be an explosive issue. It's easy to hold up, somebody who's here and working hard as a political target. I would like to get this bill done for a lot of reasons. I'd like to get it done because it's the right thing to do. I'd like to get it done because I happen to believe the approach that is now being discussed in the Senate is an approach that will actually solve the problem. I'd like to get it out of politics. I don't think it's good to be, holding people up. We've been through immigration debates in this country. And they can bring out the worst sometimes in people. We're land immigrants. I was touched yesterday when the kid from the Coast Guard Academy, Ensign, talked about his migrant grandfather from Mexico. And here's this guy, this man, standing up in front of the President of the United States in his class, talking about serving America. He wasn't, his grandfather wasn't born here. I don't know what job he did. I suspect it was probably manual labor. I don't know. I didn't ask him. But I do know he spoke with pride. I do know he represents the best about what immigration can mean for America. Welcoming people here who want to work and realize the American dream renews our spirit and soul. It's been the case throughout generations. And we have an opportunity to put a good law in place now. Right now. And it's going to be hard work. And sure, politics will get involved. But the question is, will members of Congress rise above politics? I will. It's the right thing to have a comprehensive bill. And so I'm going to continue to reach out to members of Congress from both parties and call upon them to take the lead and show the political courage necessary to get the bill to my desk as quickly as possible. I want to thank you for your interest.